All right, hey everybody, TG here. Let's see, I had to reset some things and maybe finally get my microphone to work. Looks like we're good to go. Let me get my screen up here. I'm also out there on the social medias, and we will see if the Wi-Fi here can handle it. So in case anybody out there doesn't know, I'm out in Las Vegas for the Las Vegas Money Show. There we go, got the comments on. And I'll be presenting later this afternoon. I know we've got a few simpler traders here and some simpler subscribers. So, okay, it looks like we're good to go. Should be good to go also on the social medias, YouTube, X, Facebook. Mirza, is there a chance you can kind of look on YouTube or X and make sure I'm actually broadcasting out there? Probably actually hit refresh on this one, make sure I'm doing it. Yeah, it says live. That's cool. And yeah, I also wanted to show you guys here over on X. I just posted a picture. You guys can actually see I'm here in my hotel room at the Paris Hotel. That's where the Money Show is. So let me drag it down here. Boom. There you go. It's like meta. Just looking at myself in the mirror right there. Okay, so let's dive into a few things. As far as the market goes, I heard that there was some news. Maybe you guys can confirm it. I'm still trying to confirm it down about Iran. They said maybe something about negotiating, willing to negotiate. We know that was also a big deal that was kind of happening out there. And let me get my drawing tool as well. But yeah, I think that seems to be what's kind of spurring the market this morning. Also, we have NVIDIA coming out with earnings after the close today. So that's going to be a thing. And yeah, whether it's up or down, can't entirely know for sure right now, but it's a big event. A lot of people are looking at it, and I don't exactly want to be too heavy one way or the other based on that. The other news is that AMD had some deal that they worked out with Meta. So AMD is up on that. I think it was that AMD was willing to share 10% of their profits with Meta or something to that extent. So AMD is up. Meta is down a little bit on that news. And again, bear with me as far as the lagginess here. I'm on my laptop and I've got hotel Wi-Fi. And so, yeah, they're down a little bit. I think, however that deal is cutting between AMD and Meta. Now, I've been looking at Meta through here. You guys can see I've got some trend lines on here. Everything keeps hanging at the lower regions. I don't yet, but I'm always kind of looking out there. This was the thing that I was saying in my weekend video, is that hey, is the SCOTUS opinion, Supreme Court, was that bullish for the market? Because on Friday, number one, when the news came out, algos had the market just rip straight up. Then it kind of faded for a while, and then it kind of came back, and we did at least close on the highs. We also had OPEX that day, and I just wasn't entirely sure that I wanted to entirely change my position and flip long and just buy everything long that day. I didn't know if it didn't feel like it really changed the market. And then on Monday, yesterday, lo and behold, had a pretty big down day as far as the market goes. I think part of it, I forget what the name of the company, maybe you guys can help me, but you guys saw that that write up about what AI would look like in 2030, something like that, out in the future. And I think it went viral over the weekend, and I think a lot of people really were reading it. Whether maybe some of the algos were reading it as well, but maybe some fund managers were probably reading it, and it might have gotten the market a little bit spooked about AI being too good. I think that's kind of the takeaway. It's like, everyone's all worried about, like, oh, AI is not going to live up to what it should be right now. But it's like, what if it's actually the other way around? And what if AI actually does too well, and it actually causes? Yes, thank you. It's the Citrini report. Yeah. And so a lot of people were talking about that, and I wonder if that kind of seeped into the market yesterday. And you can see that's why we had a pretty big down day yesterday, which was working into our favor because I have been generally short the market, long VIX and things like that. And, that was a fairly good day. Now, I didn't think yesterday was going to be the day that gets this thing to really roll over and die. I mean, this thing has been so sideways for so long. I didn't think yesterday was going to be that. We also know that generally around 6,800 has been a pretty solid area of support, 6,800 down there. And so with yesterday just being kind of a straight down morning, I felt like it got a little oversold, and we kind of need to see if there was going to be any follow through, which would be today. And now today is actually up quite forcefully. I think partly because of the Iran news, but also maybe partly because of maybe some of the AMD news kind of buoying the market. Now, is this bullish? Again, I still can't quite say that yet. I don't have any real conviction going to the upside. If it's not so good, then maybe we can get a pop and flop tomorrow based on Nvidia. That's the thing. We'll have to see if this thing actually pops up and then just rolls over and dies. Yeah, sorry guys, the hotel Wi-Fi not doing so great as far as the audio. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, Brighter said, I think you have a good idea with the captions, so hopefully that's working for you. I've tried to kind of pare down as much as I could and through this, but as long as it's working for you guys a little bit, maybe you can even go over to the YouTube X or Facebook if you wanted to watch that one. Maybe that one's giving some better feeds. Let me know if it gets really bad and if I need to do anything else to change anything. So that's kind of where we're at. The other thing is if we look over at the IWM, again, let me get this thing moving. Looks like things are really slow in through here. And again, if anybody happens to be at the Money Show who's checking this out, come on by. I'm presenting today. I think it's 225. Well, let's see. Well, it looks like it's running on my end. All right, you guys able to hear me? I'm not even sure if it's running here on. Yeah, I think there's a problem here. Let me see what I can do. Oh, there it is. Okay, is that better for you guys out there in the Moxie room? No, I think I lost you guys. All right, let me see if I can refresh this one more time. And let's see if we can get this going. I was going to be over here showing you guys the IWM. That's waste management. There we go. Let's get IWM. Trying to ask this laptop to do all the work in the world right now. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, it looks like we're still good to go on YouTube. So yeah, just bear with me guys for just a second here. Let me get the Moxer room back up and running here. All right, so the thing about the IWM that we're looking at over here is it too just isn't really able to get lower. We had a decent day yesterday that I was looking at, and in fact, I think if I get, let's see, which one was this? I had some lines drawn on here for what I was thinking was going to be kind of a break. And if you actually look at it right here, that was the line in the sand here, and we even have this pennant up here on the top as well. And with yesterday's move, right there. Yeah, I've kind of figured, okay, it broke lower. We're on our way. We'll see if that thing actually starts to get going that direction. But then you can see we've kind of bounced right back up again. So I got out of my position, a small gain on that, mostly because in this kind of market, when things are so choppy, so volatile, you need to have strong convictions loosely held. Basically, the idea. We don't want to be too committed to any idea, especially if it's not going to be working out for you. All right, let me see if I can refresh this one more time in the Moxie room. I knew this Wi-Fi was going to be having some troubles because even me loading charts this morning was taking a while, and I was like, man, I don't know how I'm going to be able to broadcast with this. Yeah, just kind of a tough situation over here. Okay, looks like we're back in the Moxie room. So, guys, I turned off my VPN. We'll see if that kind of helps as well. Other than that, yeah, you guys are kind of seeing what I've been talking about. This situation with IWM. I was looking for price to break the trend line that I had on from here. So right there, and we got that. So again, I can't necessarily say that this is bullish, but it's also not breaking down. And so this is where I'm like, all right, until we can kind of get another setup again or whatever, I don't want to be fighting this. So we got out with a small gain on this one. Since we were in, I think we shorted it on Thursday and we held through Friday, had a decent, pretty good move yesterday, but then coming right back up again. So in this kind of market, you just got to be willing to dance with it and turn quickly. So that's what I'm seeing here. Now, one thing I will point out down here on the squeeze, this is a high compression squeeze. Sam, who is another one of our traders at Simpler Trading, kind of has this thing where he looks at this and he says, a lot of times, we look at these high compression squeezes and you think, oh my gosh, this is going to be a huge move, and it can be. But he says that they have a tendency of firing counter trend. So this one, I would like to think counter trend would be to the downside, because you look at this, you look at IWM coming into the daily 50, right through here into the daily 50, and you're looking at this high compression squeeze, and you're like, man, I'm starting to rub my hands together. This is looking exciting. Let's go on the long side. However, in his experience, he's said that this can actually fire counter trend, which in this case would be down. And I generally agree with that because the Moxie indicator has been below zero, so that's why I took a short trade on this. However, same thing. Number one, this market just mostly isn't going anyplace, and also it's super choppy, super sideways, and I don't really want to be fighting too much of that. So we'll have to see if there's going to be just more decisiveness from this market. I think that's the biggest problem is we just can't even figure out where this thing is going, and that's, I think, the biggest situation here. So then let's kind of look around at a couple things. Emil, I did see that you were mentioning Wolf. Yeah, I saw that this morning. This is part of why I'm like, well, for as much as the market is looking pretty rough out there are still areas and sectors of the market that are holding up. Now, amazingly, Wolf has been coming back. Again, I am trying to put pieces of the puzzle together to see what's really going on out there. I'm noticing that GEV was up, PSIX was up. We got HUT was up. So basically, it kind of seems as though it's like the AI data center power names are actually doing well today. And I'm wondering if that has anything to do with the whole AMD Meta news situation. Yeah, brighter side, I saw that AEHR was doing pretty well. Also, Keys, KEYS, that and AEHR are kind of in the same space. It's like optic equipment testing. So go figure, anything related to data centers. In a sense, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Google, they're the ones spending all the money. That money is going someplace. It's going into other companies like that. So that's part of the reason why Wolf is doing well. Now, again, this has been a tough one to trade because it did not hold the hourly 50, and that's fine. But it didn't hold the 21. Okay, that's fine too. But it does look like it came down and got close to the daily 50 and really hit the hourly 200. And then we pretty much just flipped. So I think you could say that there was just the slightest bit of a double bottom right there, and then it started to turn up and go there. Now, the only other problem with this one, looks like a great chart, obviously a strong day, has earnings. Now, on the surface, this is looking pretty good. This might be one of those ones where you could kind of risk it and see if actually earnings is going to work out for this thing because it's been holding up pretty well in the down market, and it's up today from a pullback, and everything's looking pretty good. So this is really just going to be the unknown of whatever is going to be happening with earnings. But yes, the stock for Wolf does look pretty good. Going back to let's see, Hut was also doing fairly well. I'll get this thing up there. Yeah, you can see Hut also having a pretty good day. Challenging to hang on to something like this one though, because you could even see here, this one was also having a real hard time with the market. Like that's something you don't really want to ride out. And to to add insult to injury, if you were in something like this trying to get the breakout like that, and then only to have it completely reverse right there and confirm to the downside, and you get this big move, you kind of be wondering, okay, do I really want to get back into this thing, anytime soon? And that's going to be pretty tough to really kind of figure that one out. I wouldn't say that this was very obvious until pretty much today. Today, nice move. You are getting the Moxie price trigger, but once again, we have earnings coming just right around the corner, and you'd have to see if this is going to continue to hold the daily 50. So this is kind of the stuff that I'm seeing out there, and I was like, today kind of feels like a strong day for some notable names, and with the market bouncing back up, and again, I think some of that Iran news made me want to get out of my shorts, especially with we having Nvidia coming up tonight as well. So we got that, and then trying to think where else to go with this. Looking at IGV, this has been another area of the market that's just been getting absolutely annihilated. And while bad can keep getting worse, which we have been seeing with IGV, at some point you kind of have to think, okay, how much further is this going to go before either we get a big snap back to the upside or actually maybe a capitulation low. Now, again, too early to say that here. Definitely not willing to jump in, but I'm watching these things for metrics and parameters and seeing if that's going to be happening with this market. To get this, we had a big move to the downside. It looks like yesterday, but then we kind of had a snap back today. And again, there's still some more volume in here. I'm sure it's selling volume, but it could be capitulatory. And so we've got to see if that's going to be doing anything. Again, way too early to be jumping into something like this. I'm not super interested in it. But if this can stop going down, maybe that can actually end up being slightly bullish for the market. It's one of those things to kind of just watch and see about the rest of the market. I also like to look a lot at FNGU. And this is the mega cap stocks, mags stocks, FANG stock, CrowdStrike is in here. So it's not a pure FANG stock. If you want that, you have to do MAGS, which we can look at next. And we've been taking a few pot shots at this one. We've kind of caught a bounce there, got it, caught a bounce there, got it. But this thing was not ready to be in an uptrend yet. So that's why we've been taking very, very quick turns with this. But I continue to look at this on the daily chart. And those of you in the Mox room, you guys know I keep looking at this. I'm like, this thing is extremely oversold. And the Magnificent Seven, the FANG stocks, they don't tend to just stay down and bleed for too long forever. Not unless we are actually in an area where they're actually taking some of the leaders down and the whole market down. And it doesn't seem like that's really in the case. Now, they could be getting punished because of the whole AI thing and CapEx spend, but they're not going to go away. It's just that they're getting maybe repriced. And so I look at this and think, yeah, it's getting probably pretty risky on the short side. And that's why we have not been shorting this. And once again, I kind of add this to the whole market. Like, okay, if this thing can't really get going that much further down, is this market going to really roll over? That has been the thing in the back of my head. So that's why I was kind of going after the IWM on the short side. And, I'm still wondering, can the SPX actually plunk lower and give us a good move to the downside, rip that Band-Aid off and do something? And I just kind of keep this in the back of my head. I'm like, I'm just not sure. So that's why I've been keeping things kind of low, laying low, not overcommitting myself and being aware of these things in the back of my head. The other thing is, if this does start to turn around, I've been noticing that the Moxie indicator in through here is starting to actually look kind of constructive. And if you guys look at the differences, there really wasn't much there. There was kind of some slanting up here, but that was still pretty early. And there really just hasn't been much else to work with. And I'm starting to notice here. And this might just be that, it's my tool. I've seen this forever. And I'm just kind of aware when we get this situation where the Moxie indicator is starting to come up, we know that the daily chart's getting pretty oversold. And then if we can drill down a little bit further, we might be looking at that double bottom. So again, way too early to be doing this. Maybe in the next day, 2, 3, 5, I don't know. But it is something to start watching. And if you're on the short side for something like this, I'd be a little bit careful. And then if we can come over here and take a look at the mags. And while there's still plenty of room that this could go down, this one really is the pure Magnificent Seven play. I am aware that it's coming into this previous price area. It's coming into the 200. Now again, this is an ETF, so it's not exactly on those moving averages because all the individual stocks in there, but it is still something to pay attention to. And once again, kind of looking at this and be like, is this wanting to go lower right now? And doesn't look like right now. It's still not long yet. We still have a downtrending hourly 50. The MOX indicator still below 0. So we got a lot of work to do. And that's kind of the whole thing that I'm trying to say is I actually had one person that I'm working with. I was like, yeah, I'm short the market, kind of looking at that. And he said, okay, well, is there ever a time where if you don't want to be short, then do you just flip long? I was like, yeah, sure, can do that. And he said, what about in between? Are you ever just in cash or don't do anything? I said, yeah, absolutely. There are certain times when the market's maybe kind of done going down, or maybe it's a little bit too risky on the downside because things have moved a lot. But the long side is not quite ready yet. We could be in transition zones. And I said, yeah, that's totally a thing. You don't have to always flip from short to long. You can kind of be in cash waiting for the market to flip around. And so I kind of feel as though that's maybe where we're at right now. I mean, obviously the market continues to be sideways, and I don't have a clear answer either way. And that's what I'm waiting for, to see if we can get any more clarity. Yeah, let's take a look at XLF. This has been another section or sector of the market. I mean, let's see this. It's not been great. And even today, a little bit heavier, but might be getting a little stretched for the moment. You can see here on the hourly chart, again, getting pretty extended down there. And not that this is a long trade, but this is getting a little extended, just the way that got extended and kind of in here got a little extended. You could see there's a bounce, there was a bounce, just kind of watching, maybe there's a bounce. Do I want to do something about it? Meh, probably not, but I wouldn't be overly aggressive on the short side right in through here. Now, let me come over here and let's see if we can zoom out and look at XLF on, say, the weekly and monthly charts. And also not much to really conclude from here, to be perfectly honest. The only thing I can say is that, yep, it's clearly coming down. And then I look left and we kind of see where price is. And the only thing I kind of point towards is there's an area, there's an area, there's an area, and we're down here. So maybe we're kind of coming into some prior price congestion. Maybe that's going to add some buoyancy, but there's really nothing to work with on this chart, at least from the long side. And it's too oversold on the short side either, also to do anything right here. If you're going to be shorting something, you want to be shorting it from up here, and you want to be shorting it from up here. You don't want to get short here. You don't want to get short here, and you probably don't want to get short here. So yeah, that's why I'm just kind of wondering about a bounce, or at least maybe the market's still being just stuck and not really wanting to do anything quite yet. So looking at that, I'm trying to think, what were the other ones that were kind of looking a little bit froggy this morning? NBIS, this was another one. We've been discussing this one in the Moxie room. On the surface, it looks great. It's past earnings. I love that. This pullback looks great. I just not entirely sure if I can trust this market right now. But right now, yeah. But NBIS, we've kind of discussed that. That one's looking generally pretty good. And then CoreWeave. Once again, a little too early, and it has earnings. I don't want to be stepping into a fresh trade just before earnings. Man, you never know what's going to happen. But I got to say, we've been watching this one. We've been talking about it for a while, and I've said this one's looking pretty good. The daily chart, even the hourly chart for a while was looking pretty good. It did take a little bit of a detour here, but once again, it's back up today. And you look, it continues to hold the daily 50. So I'm aware of kind of what's happening out there and building a watch list, kind of building a mental watch list too, and being aware that some of these things are not really going down the way that maybe we would have thought them they should. And that's why I'm saying we're not in a bear market. I've been wondering about a correction. And even at that, the correction has been kind of hard to be getting. There might be a correction underneath the surface. We did get the NASDAQ to come down a little bit. So I don't know. At some point, it seems if the bears can't really get motivating, then we just need to be careful on the short side. And that's been my stance this whole time. I've been trading short side. We made a few bucks here and there. But other than that, we always got to be careful if they just can't really get it going. Okay. So let me wrap up here. Let's see if I get there we go. For those of you out there on the social medias, YouTube, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that kind of stuff, come on over to X. I'll be posting some more stuff here since I'm at the money show. It's at TG_profit pilot. And you guys can kind of follow along, see some of the stuff I'm doing. I'll make a video today for tomorrow, and you can get some more stuff up there. So let me log off from the social medias and the Moxie room. I can stay on with you. Hopefully the Wi-Fi will do a little bit better since I'm asking less of it. Then we'll kind of do a little quick round the horn and just see what's going on with this market. So Moxie room, stay with me. And for those of you on the social medias, yeah, come check me out if you want. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week. Take care.